Tonight, the Pullman Moscow Regional Airport may add a new destination to its schedule. Find out where flights out of Pullman could take you in the future.
And where a man's body ended up after he was killed. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Caitlin Rappel.
And I'm ARIEL IACOBAZZI. Welcome back to Murrow News 8.
The U.S. Department of Transportation announces their approval of a grant that would provide commercial air service between Pullman Moscow Regional Airport and Denver. Airport Director Tony Bean credits local support for the grant being approved, as there were 57 applicants and only 18 were approved. The grant states the government will set aside $780,000 for 4 years as a profitability insurance policy. United Airlines or one of its affiliate airlines have been identified as the potential partner for service to Denver.
The City of Pullman's master plan draft for downtown has been released. The city paid a consultant $120,000 to create the plan. The document is 134 pages long and suggests things such as eliminating 12-hour parking downtown to just 2 or 3 hours, reducing Main Street from 3 lanes to 2, and adding a bike lane. The master draft will be presented to Pullman City Council on Tuesday night.
Coming out of the Daily Evergreen, the Academic Success and Career Center launched the Don't Cancel Class program. With professors sometimes needing to cancel class, the ASCC plans on bringing academic coaches into classrooms to host workshops instead of fully canceling class. The ASCC academic coach Katie Riley said students can use the uncanceled class time to develop various career and academic-focused workshops. The ASCC also plans on providing time management workshops, which will help students learn how to use their planners.
According to KREM 2 News, newly obtained court documents allege that a Spokane woman shot and killed her roommate's boyfriend and put his body in a freezer after he raped her. 36-year-old Melissa Martin shot her roommate's boyfriend after he attempted to touch her for a second time. According to court documents, Martin called a friend on February 20th and confessed what happened. Her friend then alerted police, who later found the victim's body at Martin's home. Martin changed her story, blaming a friend for the murder. Martin is now in custody and is set to appear in court today.
According to KREM 2 News, nearly 1,500 Avista customers have been left without power in Adams County due to several outages. Othello still has the highest power outage, which still affects about 1,500 customers. Several more outages have affected areas, including areas south of Columbia National Wildlife Refuge. Minor outages are also in Moscow, Assotin, and Cottonwood, Idaho. An anti-abortion group begins a 40-day demonstration this week. Murrow News 8 reporter Grace Arness has more. Grace?
Hi, Caitlin. The 40 Days for Life campaign will begin Wednesday here at this location of the Planned Parenthood in Pullman. The campaign organizer told the Moscow Pullman Daily News they would focus on this location specifically because it's the only one in the area. Vice President for Public Affairs for Planned Parenthood of Greater Washington and North Idaho also told the Daily News that campaigns like these aim to intimidate and shame customers or patients. The Planned Parenthood location in Pullman currently only offers medical abortion services in the first 10 weeks of pregnancy with a pill. The location does not provide surgical abortions. Live in Pullman for Murrow News 8, I'm Grace Arness. Back to you and ARIEL in the studio.
The Pullman Planned Parenthood will have normal business hours and operations during the campaign. Coming up, what you need to do to prepare for this week's weather.
And which charges Harvey Weinstein was found guilty of when Murrow News 8 returns.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
What can we expect the week to look like, Kirsten?
Well, Caitlin, let me tell you. Today we reached a high around 39 and a low of 26. What's important about today, we reached around 18 miles per hour, and yesterday we actually reached around 30 miles per hour. This is all because of a high pressure ridge that's coming in, moving through the east, which is causing these northwest shifts of wind. Today's average was normally around 44 degrees too, so we are looking at a cooler day. Tomorrow will be around 42 degrees, with a low of 31 degrees and 10 miles per hour. You can see that ridge is really starting to lower the miles per hour of wind, as well as getting your temperature to raise just a little bit. Looking at the map, the west side of Washington is experiencing a bit of partly cloudy days. 47 and 48 around Olympia and Seattle will be warm, but can also have parts of rain, maybe some clouds, so take cover with that. Moving to central Washington, we have Yakima around 51 degrees. And even over in Tri-Cities, we have 56 degrees, which means that over in central Washington, we are seeing some sunshine come through. Moving to the east side, around Spokane and Pullman, we're seeing 44, 39, a little bit similar, but again, Spokane will be having some clouds and Pullman will be seeing some sun. Moving into the 5-day forecast, we have some good news. You can actually see sun coming through the weekend, and it's slowly warming up. Today we hit around 39 degrees with a low of 26. Tomorrow we'll see 42 with a low of 31. And again, we're still getting partly cloudy. Wednesday will be fully cloudy with a high of 47 and a low of 32. But what's the best part about it is Thursday and Friday we're hitting 50s. We're seeing the sun. The high will be around 51 degrees with a low of 33. Friday we'll have the highest of 56 and a low of 36. So as you guys can see, that high pressure ridge is really moving in. As the week continues on, we'll get warmer. That's all I have. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Kirsten. Coming out of CNN after the jury deliberated for 5 days, former movie producer Harvey Weinstein was found guilty of third-degree rape and committing a criminal sex act in the first degree. Weinstein was found guilty of 2 of the 5 charges relating to sexual assaults. However, Weinstein was acquitted on the most serious charge of predatory sexual assault. Weinstein faces at least 5 years in prison. Vanessa Bryant filed a lawsuit this morning as the public memorial of Kobe and Gigi took place. The wrongful death lawsuit was filed in the Los Angeles Superior Court and said the pilot was careless and negligent by flying in cloudy conditions and should have aborted the flight. According to the New York Times, the lawsuit names Island Express Helicopters Incorporated and also targets pilot Ara Zobayan's representative or successor. After the break, bad news for a few WSU teams on senior night.
And Murrow News 8 reporter Zach Miller takes a look at what WSU students are saying about XFL when Murrow News 8 returns.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for 1. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right, no employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Sorry, Zach.
WSU's men's basketball's last home game and senior night ended in a loss against the Stanford Cardinal. Sophomore forward CJ Elby poured in 22 points, but the Cougs still fell 75-57. Last night's game was the last home game for seniors Jeff Pollard and Gervais Robinson. The Cougs played without junior guard Isaac Bonton, who is still recovering from injury. The Cougs will play UW on Friday. While baseball is just starting, football isn't over thanks to the XFL. I took a closer look to see how local fans are reacting to the start of the league. The second week of February marks the end of football. It's the time for football fans to put down the remote and get on the computer for the mock draft. But this year might just be different. Football fans can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is the Extreme Football League.
I have heard a little bit about it, just that it's new and a little bit different than the NFL.
The XFL started the Sunday after the Super Bowl and might just be the bridge to help football fans make it through the off season.
Nice, because it's like right after football season just ended, so it's kind of like we still have football to watch.
The XFL is a new football league that says it's for the fans and is more about football than any league has ever been. While it's not the first football league to arise during the NFL offseason, fans seem to be intrigued by its potential.
I'm super hyped. Week 1 was awesome, you know, the new kickoff rule.
The AAF, a league very similar to the XFL, which also tried to fill the gap between football and the offseason, failed only after just 8 weeks of playing. This has many XFL viewers concerned the same thing might happen again.
I think possibly, just because it's pretty small right now, like there's only like 8 or something teams, so it could get shut down pretty quickly.
The opening weekend showed promise for the XFL, with an average viewership of 3.1 million people tuning into the games. Most of the comments from the fans were positive towards the new league. This positive opening weekend has some former football players thinking this new league could give hope to young athletes that might not get a shot at the NFL.
People that want to continue their career, even though they might not be those top athletes, they still have somewhere else to go other than the NFL.
It's gonna be like a minor league that kind of thing, like in baseball.
It might be time to lace up those cleats and start working on your football skills, because as of now, the country's favorite sport has another league to play in. This is Zach Miller, Murrow News 8.
Next, an alleged drug dealer who lost about $58 million.
Find out how when Murrow News 8 comes back.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
You, your plumber.
Breathe right into your foot.
Your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker.
On your left.
Your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot. Your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
A drug dealer in Ireland has lost over $58 million in Bitcoin while serving his 5-year prison sentence. Clifton Collins was arrested in 2017 for selling and growing marijuana, and during his time in prison, his landlord threw out Bitcoin codes he had hidden in a fishing rod case. The codes totaled to $58 million. According to the Irish Times, Collins wouldn't have been able to cash out the Bitcoin anyways, though, because Ireland's Criminal Asset Bureau seized the cryptocurrency on grounds its purchase was funded by illicit activity. Thank you for watching. Be sure to watch our newscast. Have a good night.